The forecast is looking rainy and warm for our area with some wet days ahead. We're also tracking that winter storm to our north in your forecast.
And as the country braces for this winter storm, some people in our area are traveling this weekend. So what you need to know before you hit the road. Plus, one thing on top of a lot of parents' minds, keeping their child safe online. We're telling you about one program that empowers parents with the tools they need to navigate today's internet dangers.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
Hello, thank you for joining us for Fox 10 News at 4. It's Thursday. I'm Shelby Myers. Lanice has the day off. And of course, your weather is first today. A lot of our viewing area getting some rain, overcast, nasty skies. You can see this downtown Mobile picture, and look at that huge dark cloud in the center just taking up the whole sky, it looks like. The big question is this going to continue, especially as we approach the weekend? It's warm out there right now, but those changes are coming.
Yeah, eventually we get cold air, but it's most likely not going to be until Sunday night.
Okay.
So we're going to go through the whole weekend with rainy and warm conditions.
Okay, so we have a couple of days before we feel that cool.
Yeah, we'll get some cold air on the back end of it. We may even see some hard freezes next week, but the winter storm situation is clearly north of us. These are the winter weather alerts, and there's some different colors here, different things. I'm going to explain to you what all this means. The pink is a winter storm warning. That's what you don't want to be in, but it can be worse, and that's what's in the purple. This is an ice storm warning right now for areas in northeast Louisiana, most of the Mississippi Delta region, and up into northern Mississippi, Oxford, Tupelo, and then over into northwest Alabama and parts of southeastern or southwestern Tennessee in an ice storm warning. The current setup for Alabama is that we're either under a winter storm watch or a winter weather advisory from about Birmingham northward. And, we're going to get some warmer air even in this area. So we're seeing less of a threat there and a bigger threat where you see the purple. The purple is the bad area. That looks like where this is going to be the most intense, with freezing rain accumulations that could cause power outages and major travel problems. For us, we're going to be on the warmer end of it. And looking at the European model on Saturday, this is when it's all going to start coming together. We're way down here in the rain, and this is mostly sleet and freezing rain. And we may see air temperatures near 20 with rain. You're probably wondering, how does that happen? Well, if it's shallow air, cold air, and it's warm where the clouds are, it starts out as rain, it lands as liquid, and it freezes on contact. So bad news if you're thinking about heading towards Memphis, North Mississippi, Arkansas, even Dallas, Texas. By Saturday, it looks bad there. Alabama may warm up a little and turn into some rain. We're going to stay in the 60s on both Saturday and Sunday in our local forecast. You can see the wintry weather avoids our area at least through Sunday morning. All right, taking a look at the back edge of it, doesn't look like much there, but we will get the colder air moving into our forecast area on Sunday night, and next week we could see some significant freezing temperatures. In the meantime, just scattered showers for today, tonight, and tomorrow. Our rain chances only 30% tonight and on Friday, and it will be warmer than usual. It's kind of hard to get your head wrapped around that. We're talking so much about a winter storm, but that's for our neighbors to the north. And down here, it's going to be fairly comfortable with our temperatures for the first part of that weekend. Shelby?
All right, Jason, thank you. And speaking of, this incoming storm is a concern for those of you with family in the area that you may plan to travel their way. Our Hal Sherrick met with state troopers to find out how you can prepare. He's live now with us from Baldwin County. Hal, what all did you find out?
Well, Shelby, a little preparation and some common sense will go a long way in keeping you safe on the roadways. That's any time, but especially when you're driving in icy, rainy conditions like what we could have up north. Now, if you're one of the many people heading north on I-65 this weekend, state troopers have a warning. What may begin as rain when you hit the road may turn to sleet or ice as you drive north. Being prepared begins with making sure your car is ready and you have necessary supplies. Troopers recommend you check your tire pressure and antifreeze before you head out, and to make sure your windshield wiper fluid is rated for below freezing temperatures. Carry extra water and food along with a blanket to stay warm in case roads are temporarily shut down. They say to be extra careful of black ice when driving at night.
Exiting on or off an interstate, changing lanes on an interstate, especially like you said, those overpasses, over state and federal roadways are going to create a higher risk if black ice does occur. So we just kind of want to remind drivers to be mindful of that.
Yeah, and also put the cell phones down. Don't drive distracted, especially in the kind of weather you're likely to encounter if you are one of those folks heading north. Now, power companies here locally are also getting ready to help their neighbors to the north. I'll tell you what they're doing coming up on Fox 10 News at 5 p.m. Live in Baldwin County, Hal Sherritt, Fox 10 News.
All right, Hal, thank you for that report. Well, meanwhile, across the country, communities are bracing for this upcoming winter storm head on. Brian Abel shows the planning and potential impacts the storm that has multiple states already declaring states of emergency.
A potentially historic, worst in years winter storm could bring damaging heavy snow and ice to more than half of the United States this weekend.
The main actions to take now are to prepare your family, prepare your home, and prepare your car.
At least 182 million people in 45 states are under alert, with more expected as the storm's footprint will stretch more than 1,500 miles from Texas to the Northeast. Record-breaking cold with dangerous expected wind chills as low as -50 in some spots, starting to creep into the upper Midwest and northern plains Thursday, with the system spreading across the eastern U.S. in the coming days. New York City may get hit with the most snow it's seen in 4 years. Some in the Great Lakes anticipating more treacherous conditions like the ones that created this 100-plus car pileup in West Michigan this week. In the South, road and airport concerns have crews working now.
We don't get a lot of opportunities to engage in a snow event, and so we're doing a lot of preparation.
And Texas officials confident the deep freeze won't wreak havoc on the power grid like what the state saw in 2021 when millions were in the dark.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Well, Bishop State Community College closed its campus today after receiving a threatening email. Police say it has affected other campuses across the country. It disrupted the school day for about 4,500 students and 200 faculty and staff. That's according to the college. The Mobile Police Department says investigators are working with the FBI on this threat. Courtney Steele, a spokeswoman for Bishop State, says the college acted out of an abundance of caution.
Ultimately, our first priority is to make sure our students and faculty are safe, and so we first communicate with faculty and staff, removing them from the campus, as well as sending out a message letting them know that all learning will go virtual.
Well, Bishop State was not the only school targeted. Morris Brown College in Atlanta received a similar threat. It also issued an emergency alert asking students not to go to campus. The college lifted that alert a couple of hours later. Lawmakers want Alabama parents to have more control over what their kids access on phone apps. That's why they passed a bill unanimously to set a framework for app store providers and developers. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro joins us live from the State House now. Jessica, what role will parents play in their child's online safety?
Well, parents would have to give app store providers permission for their kids to download, buy, or to make in-app purchases. The bill also says that parents would have to give updated consent if there are substantial changes to the content or programming on an app. There's also a section of the bill that limits what data app stores can get. They can't share age category data unless it's what's required by law. We also saw an amendment on the floor as well, which passed, saying that the Attorney General of Alabama can bring action against a provider if they believe the bill is violated. However, there are also protections for app developers. They would not be liable if they take good faith measures to verify the age of the user or to get their parents' permission. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say it's a bill that will help keep Alabama kids safer and parents aware of what they're doing on their devices.
You know, we've got a little problem now, and going forward, it's just going to get worse. So the quicker we put down some lines, draw some boundaries, the better off we are.
We wanted to be able to put something together that encapsulate everyone's concerns in a way that everyone can agree upon so that we can get this bill moving.
Now, as a part of that amendment that passed with the original bill, lawmakers called one section of it the Chick-fil-A provision, or the Chick-fil-A amendment, basically trying to say that if kids are trying to make purchases on certain apps, like trying to buy food, that parents would not have to sign off on every single purchase that's made within that app. Live in Montgomery, Jessica Umbro, Fox 10 News.
All right, Jessica, thank you. And the bill, if signed into law, would take effect at the beginning of next year. Now, in Florida, the Santa Rosa County School District is actually implementing a new program to help keep children safe online. It's all about educating parents on how predators navigate certain social media sites and the best practices to consider keeping children safe. Throughout February, the district is offering free live virtual presentations teaching Santa Rosa families how to protect their children from strangers who might contact kids online, often leading to in-person meetups or sextortion schemes. Santa Rosa School Superintendent Dr. Karen Barber says predators out there are always thinking of new ways to lure in children. And it's up to parents to be informed and know what's going on so they don't leave their child vulnerable.
Smart Social, as they partnered with Santa Rosa School District, is really here to be a resource to say there are ways in which social media and online apps are a good thing, but there are lots of risks. So if we want to protect our children, we have to know the risks.
Well, you can learn more about this new program in Santa Rosa County Schools and how you can ask about bringing it to your children's school. That's all coming up in my story on Fox 10 News at 5. The Mobile Chamber hosted its annual State of the City and County Address this morning. And from major construction projects to a renewed push for transportation access, we learned more about what city leaders have in store for the future. Let's go to our Stephen Moody with this one.
Over 600 chamber members packed Crown Hall Thursday for the annual State of the City and County Address, the first one for new Mobile Mayor Spiro Chirigatis. And as he gets adjusted to his new role, this was a chance for businesses and residents to get an idea of what he has in store.
We have so many things going on in our city, large projects, the arena, the airport, new animal services building, the Africantown Welcome Center. And so, of course, we want to highlight some of those things. We want to highlight our museums and all that they're doing with the rebrand from the Modern Museum of Art and the National Maritime Museum. They have so much going on, so just trying to let people know what they have to be excited about.
The mayor says improving how people move around the city isn't just about convenience, it's about getting people back to work.
The mayor is very focused on transportation, and the way he is integrating the various elements of transportation, I really think is going to put Mobile on the map.
When you look at 31% of people are not working in Mobile because they don't have transportation. If I can return 31% of our workforce to work just by getting them a ride, I feel like I have to do that. We need to recruit for our industries. We need more workers. We've got them right here. We just need to make sure that they can get to the workforce development programs, the jobs that we have.
And that includes bringing trolleys to the Port City to join the already available options.
City doesn't have unlimited budget. We do put a large portion of our budget into the transit system, and I think there are ways we can utilize that a little differently. But I hope to see trolleys riding around the streets of Mobile within the next year. It's going to be tough, but what I am sure of is that our partner with VIA understands the goal.
Making sure that everyone in the city has a chance to contribute.
And we want to create an ecosystem, an atmosphere where every person who calls Mobile home has opportunity to succeed.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, our traffic situation right now, we've got a lot of cars out there. We do have a few delays, so let's look at it. Of course, it's early in the afternoon, about 10 minutes after 4, but we're already starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in the Wallace Tunnel area for eastbound I-10. That's folks in Mobile heading in the direction of Baldwin County. You're going to run into some delays. If you're in Baldwin County, you got to go to Mobile. I don't see any problems. Bayway, the Causeway look good, but we do see a little backup trying to get into the tunnel here. It's starting around Virginia Street, something to watch as we get closer to the 5 o'clock rush hour. Across Baldwin County, everything looks fine here, and in Pensacola, we're not seeing any significant delays, so we'll keep watching, and we'll have another update coming up as we get closer to 5 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Jason. Well, still ahead from us here on Fox 10 News at 4. A shoplifter spotted stuffing steaks. There you go, in his pants. Yep, and a Coast Guard cutter breaks the ice with stuck ships on the frozen Great Lakes. It's coming up in today's Take a Look at This, but first, here's a live look at Orange Beach. Kind of the same as yesterday. Some overcast skies out there, but a little bit of sun as it's setting, peeking through. We'll be right back with more news on your Thursday. Thank you for watching Fox 10 News at 4.
All right, looking outside right now, we've got partly cloudy skies. It was nice to see a few peaks of sun today, and our all-in credit union view, no significant rain in downtown Mobile right now. We've had some showers on and off, and we're going to continue to see them on and off, and then basically just plain on as we head into the weekend, because we are looking at a rainy, warm weekend with a winter storm to our north, and there are ice storm warnings up right here where you see the purple. This is bad stuff right here, northern Mississippi, northwest Alabama. It's a winter weather advisory situation for other parts of Alabama with the winter storm watch to the east over towards Atlanta. This will be monitored. This will almost certainly be bad news. Places like Memphis, Oxford, Tupelo, the Mississippi Delta, looking to be very icy. Our local area stays warm. Our highs are in the middle to upper 60s through the weekend. Sunday's high is 66. We will be colder here eventually, but that will not arrive until Sunday night and Monday. Let's look at it. First of all, right now, some scattered showers in the area. We've seen a little bit of rain in places, and when it comes down in the form of some downpours, and we're going to see a few of those. Got a little bit of a break, but still a chance of a scattered shower overnight. Tomorrow, looks like a better chance of spotty rain in the morning and a lower chance in the afternoon. So if you're trying to do some stuff outside, run errands, whatever, looks like tomorrow afternoon is going to be a pretty good deal for us. The winter storm comes together on Friday evening north of us, and this is it breaking out by Saturday morning. So let me show you what these colors mean. The green is rain. That's us. It's going to be scattered on Saturday. The pink is going to be a large area of freezing rain mixed with some sleet. So the precipitation type is conducive for possible power outages and dangerous travel in northern Mississippi and for a little while in North Alabama. We may even see this turn to rain over parts of Alabama by Saturday night, but northern Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas, Tennessee staying in the potential ice. Atlanta's going to be right on the edge. We've got to watch Atlanta for sure, as well as Athens and up into the Carolinas. But that warm nose kind of wants to ride up across our part of the state. Our best rain chance is Sunday right there. You can see it. And the European model is not suggesting wintry precipitation on the back edge. The GFS is still hinting at it. It's a low chance for us. The main winter storm is going to be north of us. Look at the ice accumulations. Possibly an inch or more of ice from Nashville to Tupelo to Shreveport. Right now, Birmingham may see less of that, but Atlanta could see significant icing. Charlotte, North Carolina with an inch and a half. Why do we see freezing rain or sleet and not snow when it's cold? I mean, some places we'll see rain and it's 20, and that's because when you have freezing rain, where the clouds are, there is a warm area of air from the clouds halfway down to the ground. You've got that warm, so it actually changes from snow to rain, and then it refreezes right when it touches something like the ground. When it's sleet, it snows, and then it melts into rain, and then it refreezes in the air, and it comes down as an ice pellet. We've seen that here, but it's been since 2014. If it's snowing, it's got to be cold from the cloud all the way to the ground. So that's why we have different precipitation types and kind of the setup for this situation around the region. Our forecast looks mild with rain. Our rain chances look like this: 50% Saturday, scattered rain. Sunday, heavier rain, and the colder air comes in late. We're going to be at 66 Sunday, but look at that rain percentage, 90% on Sunday. The cold air for us comes next week, and we could see hard freezes, cold air, lows in the 20s, 21 by Monday night in that long-range forecast.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, now to a shoplifting suspect in Florida, spotted cramming 2 large steaks into his pants. And eyewitnesses say he even saved room for some wine. Jeremy Roth has today's take. Look at this.
A South Florida grocery store had a bizarre beef play out with a shopper who allegedly shoved a pair of steaks down his pants. According to WPLG, the owner of Kosher Kingdom in Aventura, Florida, says the man was spotted on surveillance cramming a ribeye and a large brisket in his britches.
He came over here, looked around to see if anybody was looking, and he shoved it in his pants.
He reportedly saved room in his pair of pants for a wine pairing, allegedly concealing a bottle as well, before being confronted by employees in an adjacent parking lot who got the stuffed foodstuffs back.
He ran off after we got the stuff back. By the time the cops got there, he was gone.
The owner told WPLG he understands meat prices are high right now, but also said regardless, it's not right to come in and steal. By the way, I had like 5 steaks in pants jokes that were deemed inappropriate, so I was forced to trim the fat. And from choice cuts to ice cutting. Coast Guard cutter crews are getting a lot of work these days, helping ships push their way through frozen waters. The U.S. Coast Guard Great Lakes recently made back-to-back posts on their Facebook page showing cutter vessels assisting large ships stuck in ruts of thick ice on Lakes Huron and Erie by bypassing them to break up the sheets, thus clearing the way for transit. The Coast Guard says these cutting vessels and their intrepid crews play a vital role of ensuring safe and navigable waterways, even when Mother Nature has other plans. Finally, one more surreal sight on an icy night. Recent intense geomagnetic and solar radiation storms led to an amazing night light show in places like this chill spot in Canada where the glimmering, shimmering auroras were in rare and riveting form. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Oscar nominations are in. One movie just smashed a record for the most nominations ever. Find out which film is leading the pack and who was shut out when we come back.
Lexus of Mobile is proud to sponsor the Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
The Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance, sponsored by Lexus of Mobile.
Welcome back in. The nominees for the 2026 Academy Awards were officially announced this morning, and one movie has smashed a record with the most nods of all time. Sinners earned 16 total nominations, including Best Picture. It also received nominations for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Director, just to name a few. Wicked for Good was left out altogether. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo were nominated last year, but did not receive one this year. The Oscars added a new category for Best Casting. A documentary focusing on the prison system in Alabama from the perspective of incarcerated leaders is on the list for Best Documentary Feature. Conan O'Brien returns to host the Oscars on March 15th. That is very interesting. I actually saw Sinners. I was telling Lanice about this the other day on the show. I saw Sinners a year later. It is a really, really good movie. Very scary, very, hint, vampires. So blood and all of that. So just be alarmed if you are going to watch it. It's not for the kids. But it was very good, very interesting. A lot of good acting going on. And I overall enjoyed that movie. So kudos to it for getting all those nominations. Taylor Swift makes history, becoming the youngest female inductee into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. The 36-year-old Life of a Showgirl singer-songwriter will join KISS founders Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, as well as Kenny Loggins, Alanis Morissette, and Christopher Tricky Stewart as the 2026 Songwriters Hall of Fame inductees. Carol Bayer Sager held the youngest female honoree title prior to Swift. She was inducted at the age of 43. To be eligible for the Hall, a songwriter's first commercially released composition needs to be at least 20 years old. Well, Swift's Tim McGraw was released in June of 2006. Gosh, has it been that long? Wow. The induction ceremony will be held June 11th in New York City. Of all her accomplishments, that might be one at the top. I mean, the youngest to ever be inducted, 36 years old. That's wild. Congrats, Taylor. Bruno Mars hit a major milestone. His new single, I Just Might, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking his 10th chart topper and his first ever career debut at the top spot. The song leads into Mars's upcoming 4th solo album, The Romantic, arriving February 27th. He's just so smooth. He just does it all, right? Dancing, singing, very, very talented. All right, next up, we're going to dive into those big breaking stories headlining your news at 5. And then this.
A lot of the symptoms of the early start to carbon monoxide exposure can mimic some of the cold and flu-like symptoms.
Wow, it's a silent killer you cannot see or smell. As temperatures drop, the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning rises. We'll show you how to protect your family from this deadly threat. But first, Jason.
And we are tracking some showers out there right now that will be continuing to be in the area overnight tonight. Rain is the word for the weekend here with winter weather north of us. I'll have more on all this in your outlook.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 News.
All right, let's talk about some of the stories we are working on for Fox 10 News at 5. For the first time, Mobile County Sheriff Paul Burch is speaking with us about controversial letters sent out by the ICAC unit. A Fox 10 investigation uncovered one warning letter sent to someone suspected of uploading child pornography. Tonight, when the sheriff says he was first made aware of these letters. Plus, a Pensacola native is posthumously awarded the nation's highest civilian award. We'll tell you what it's all about and take you to the special ceremony. And we have an update on a new playground at Penelope House. Check this out, how it's going to help families for years to come. These stories and more in less than 30 minutes from now on Fox 10 News at 5.
All right, taking a look out there right now with our Eastern Shore Toyota Hyundai camera from the Admiral from downtown Mobile. We're looking okay, but there are a few showers in the area, and one of the ways you can keep track of that is our Fox 10 weather app. It has a radar portion on it. You just scroll down, pick radar, and you can zoom in, see, hey, where's the rain? Which direction is it moving? Right now, for example, around Mobile, we're not seeing much, but the Panhandle seeing a few showers. Also on our main page, have an update on the winter weather threat for areas north of us. It's going to be warmer here, and gradually it's going to be wetter. We could get a couple of inches of rain over the weekend. Most of this is going to fall on Sunday. Right now, the showers are spotty in the area, so if you've got evening plans, you could run into one or two of these. And I will mention that there even could be a rumble or a brief heavy downpour as like this one here that's coming through Gulf Crest. It's actually coming down pretty hard, and it's tracking towards Citronelle. So a couple of little small showers out there, some of them a little heavier than others. Tomorrow in Pensacola, we will wake up to temperatures in the upper 50s, and it just gets warmer for there. We are in the mid 60s by the afternoon tomorrow. In Mobile, we will wake up to temperatures in the mid 50s, and we will see temperatures in the mid 60s by tomorrow afternoon. Our Fox 10 Futurecast, a high-res model, is suggesting light showers tonight. It doesn't show much, although some light showers may fill back in after midnight tonight. We'll see some of those around on your Friday morning with a rain chance at 30%. Talking winter weather, here's the new run of the GFS model, and what it's showing is that the winter storm is going to be way north of us. We'll see showers around tomorrow. The winter weather develops on Saturday, and there could be a very large area of freezing rain and sleet of high concern in northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, and northwest Alabama. Birmingham may not be as bad. We're seeing this warm nose of air on both models now, the GFS and the Euro, because the low pressure area is tracking further to the north. That puts us in the rain. It also puts a lot of Alabama in the rain on Sunday. Full-on ice storm, though, up I-55 near Grenada and Batesville, Mississippi, and Oxford and Ole Miss, and over towards Tupelo. We could see a little precip on the back edge, but I don't think it's going to amount to much. Our road surface is going to be really warm, and then the dry winds blow in here, and they're going to be cold winds too. We'll be in the mid-20s on Monday. A lot of that will dry the streets out. We'll watch for that possibility. It's a real low chance Sunday night. The main focus is on rain here and icy weather way north of us. 50% rain chance on Saturday, 90% rain chance on Sunday. Pick your day. Obviously, Saturday, the better day weather-wise. Sunday looks really messy, could rain most of the day. Temps will be in the 60s this weekend. They don't turn cold until Sunday night. Shelby?
Okay, Jason, thank you. A new challenge for the month of January has some Americans pulling back on their spending. A report from the Wall Street Journal says some are going the entire month without buying anything other than the essentials. The report cites data from accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers that says in December, Google searches for what's being called No Buy January soared to a 5-year high, with Gen Z and millennials leading the way. A NerdWallet survey of more than 2,000 Americans also found more than 25% say they have tried not to buy anything in January. And 12% say they joined in on the growing trend for the first time this year. The survey says a big reason people are choosing to participate is because they feel like prices are just too high right now. A new survey from LendingTree finds more customers are stealing at the self-checkout. Consumer investigator Rachel DePompa has more on the findings in this Watching Your Wallet.
According to research from LendingTree, 27% of Americans, or 1 in 4, admit they have stolen at least one item while using a self-checkout. Matt Schultz with LendingTree says that's double the number from just a couple of years ago. He says you even may have noticed more self-checkout counters being closed when you go to pay. He says businesses are definitely taking a second look at using self-pay.
Even though they may be able to save some money on labor and that sort of thing by using these self-checkout tools, you have to wonder if the amount of theft that is going on through these self-checkout counters is worth the money for businesses.
Schultz says what's interesting here is many say they're taking everyday essentials rather than luxury goods. The survey of more than 2,000 people found 47% point to unaffordable necessities, while 46% blame rising prices tied to tariffs as the driving reason behind their decision to steal.
This isn't really about thrill seeking. This is about people looking for a way to combat high prices, and they're buying things like food and drink and healthcare and beauty care stuff. It's not like they're walking through the door with a Nintendo Switch and a diamond necklace.
Schultz says the theft is also not always intentional. He says a third of people in the survey also say they inadvertently walked out with merchandise at the self-checkout. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
I have a lot to say. I'm shocked that people admit that on LendingTree. Nonetheless, now to your health news. A new report reveals what diseases kill the most Americans each year. The American Heart Association reports despite a 5-year decline, more Americans die from heart disease and stroke combined than from anything else in the United States. The association says more than 25% of deaths stem from a combination of the two. Data from the association shows that heart disease is still the leading cause of death in our country, while stroke moved up to the 4th leading cause. All types of cancer rank 2nd and accidents rank 3rd. It's colorless, odorless gas that can cause sudden sickness and even death if large amounts are inhaled. And carbon monoxide can be produced by common appliances that are found around most of our homes. And this time of year, the poisonous gas can be particularly dangerous as the fumes are produced in things that can keep a family warm. We're talking fireplaces, furnaces, and those portable generators or those little portable heaters. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither goes over the dangers and how to reduce risk of carbon monoxide exposure as the temperatures drop.
Every year in the U.S., unintentional carbon monoxide poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room, hospitalizes more than 14,000 patients, and kills more than 400 people.
A lot of the symptoms of the early start to carbon monoxide exposure can mimic some of the cold and flu-like symptoms.
Dr. Jason Milk with Cleveland Clinic says that adds to the challenge of identifying when carbon monoxide is making a person sick. The most common symptoms of poisoning are headache, dizziness, weakness, upset stomach, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion.
The emergency departments have ability of how to measure your carbon monoxide levels. And the antidote for carbon monoxide exposure is eliminating the source, meaning getting away from the risk. And then oxygen is the therapy.
Reduce risk of exposure by using a carbon monoxide detector that will alert when there's a danger. The CDC also says to never use a generator inside your home or garage, even if doors and windows are open. Only use them outside, more than 20 feet away from windows, doors, and vents, and never heat your home with a gas oven. Don't run your vehicle inside a garage that's attached to a house, even when the garage door is open. For a detached garage, open the door to let in fresh air when running a car.
If you have multiple family members, everyone in the home has all the same symptoms. It may be that carbon monoxide is the common denominator as to why everyone doesn't feel good.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, coming up, these marine mammals are making themselves at home on the banks of the Sacramento River, hundreds of miles inland. We're going to show you why they're there and what experts say about this unexpected visit. Welcome back. Heated rivalry stars Hudson Williams and Connor Story are heading to Italy for the Winter Olympics. HBO Max says the two actors have been selected to be the torchbearers of the Olympic flame ahead of the opening ceremony. The Olympic torch relay ends in Milan, February 6th. The show Heated Rivalry has catapulted the duo to stardom, with the two recently presenting at the Golden Globes and making appearances on late night TV.
We've got some light rain out there right now. It's just real small stuff, little small showers, occasionally getting a little bit of a downpour, but our rain chance this evening is only 30%, so I'm not expecting a ton of this. And the models are holding that around on Friday, too, that we could see a few showers in our area. Our best rain chances are going to come this weekend, especially Saturday night and Sunday. And there is going to be a significant winter storm north of us. It's not going to happen here. It's happening north of us, and here's how it plays out. Let me show you the European model. Saturday, there's been some changes with this forecast too. We kind of expected that because we've been looking at a lot of preliminary stuff now, and things are getting way more accurate as we're getting closer. It looks like an ice storm warning for northern Mississippi here. It could be terrible for the Mississippi Delta up to Oxford and Tupelo and into northwest Alabama as well. And then it should be mostly snow more up into Tennessee, but Memphis may see sleet and freezing rain along with some snow. Our area is going to be on the rainy end of things, so we expect the showers to move in Saturday evening. We're optimistic about Birmingham right now. We may see a changeover to all rain for a long period of time. The cold air will be in two places because as the low moves up, there's cold air ridging down the Appalachians, and also you get on the back side of the low with the northerly winds, so northern Mississippi is going to get it, but it looks like a little bit of a warmer nose over the state of Alabama. For us, our cold air comes in Sunday night, and so we get the rain, then we get the cold air. They're not on the same page from what we're looking at right now, and it looks like next week we could see some hard freezes moving in. The ice accumulation looks really bad. An inch and a half of ice is a major problem. It really only takes like a tenth of an inch of ice to cause problems with travel, but when you start seeing over an inch of an accumulation of ice, that gets on the tree limbs, which falls on the power lines, which causes power outages. So we could see some widespread issues in a couple of spots. North Mississippi and over the Carolinas look like the worst of it. And there are different precipitation types in the winter. You've got snow, sleet, and then freezing rain. Freezing rain is when it may start out as snow or rain, and then it falls through warm air, but there's a real shallow layer of cold air not too high up in the atmosphere, and so whatever comes down as liquid and freezes on contact. Sleet is when it snows, melts into rain, and then refreezes midair and turns into an ice pellet. It's actually a little easier to drive in sleet than it is freezing rain, but neither are fun. Snow is when it's below freezing from the cloud all the way to the ground. So you have to think about the atmosphere like layers of a cake, really. That's the best way to understand it. And down here, it's all rain from the clouds all the way to the ground. We're looking at Saturday and Sunday with temperatures at 50% with our rain chance on Saturday, temperatures in the mid-60s, 90% rain chance on Sunday. The cold air comes in late on Sunday night.
All right, be prepared for that cold air. Well, the Sacramento waterfront is a popular destination, not just for tourists, but sea lions. Sea lions are normally found near oceans. So why are they making a home in Sacramento? Fox's Dennis Shanahan dug deeper and has more.
Their call echoes on the banks of the Sacramento River. But their typical home is in their name. These are sea lions, hanging out about 100 nautical miles inland from the ocean. They've established themselves on this pier on the West Sacramento side of the river. They jockey for position and seem to express irritation to each other at times. To some observers, they're a welcome sight.
There's nothing wrong with them. I think they're cool.
Some are simply surprised to see them in Sacramento.
Didn't expect to see sea lions out here?
Nah. This is surprising right here.
And to others, their presence here is a little alarming.
I feel like they should be in a natural habitat.
Fox 40 reached out to the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito, asking why sea lions would choose to be in Sacramento. Associate Director of Public Relations Giancarlo Rulli responded by email, saying, "It is increasingly common in the last 2 decades to see mostly adult and subadult male California sea lions in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta system, including the Sacramento River." Rulli says sea lions are opportunistic foragers, and specifically in the Delta, they appear to have found a steady source of large, non-native fish that are easy prey, such as carp and bass. Rulli also said federal protections have allowed their populations to rebound since the 1970s, and as a result, they're expanding into areas like the Delta and the rivers, where their presence was more common many decades ago. He says they typically will leave the river in May and June, returning to the ocean for mating season. The Marine Mammal Center reminds the public to play a role in the conservation of these animals by keeping a safe distance. If you're so close that the sea lions are reacting to you, then you're too close. If one appears to be in real distress, then contact the Marine Mammal Center. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
Nice little addition to the view, to the vista.
4 words, I love you, bro, used to help a person in a time of crisis on an overpass has now turned into a movement in Utah. The goal is to help men speak out about mental health struggles. Fox's Avery Klonowski spoke with the founder of the project to learn more.
I've always been pretty open transparent with my emotions and feelings.
Meet Joe Tuiana.
I have a passion for human beings. I'm a very lovable person.
Joe loves to help others.
Suicide prevention experience on an overpass in Lehigh, and just had a struggling bro who was in a suicide crisis, and I used the words "I love you, bro," and only the words "I love you, bro."
After saving someone else's life in 2022,
it compelled me, almost just forced me into the mental health arena.
He did his own research and felt men's mental health isn't talked about enough.
Start a little group for Aaron, that's this bro's name, and we can maybe get him some connection, and talk a little bit about our feelings and stuff.
I think for years and years, the messaging to men has been that they just need to buck up and deal with it.
Joe came up with the idea for a free men's group to meet up and talk.
We meet every week, same time, same place. Holidays, you name it, we're here, we roll.
People kept showing up. Now it's called the I Love You Bro Project.
Men specifically need to have a place that's weekly and consistent for them to go for those types of challenges and to have those types of difficult conversations.
And I'm using this as a way to make it more comfortable for other bros to come through and talk about things going on with them.
He started with one group in Provo. Now there's 10 across the state with a group that meets every Thursday at Aspen Ridge in Tooele.
And then have that release and that safe space where they won't be judged. And they know that they can just have the freedom to discuss whatever they need.
Weston Brandon and Ashish Patel lead the weekly group that meets in the Tooele area.
The reason why I do it is because I myself have struggled with mental health for years.
Having gone through some serious dark times myself and coming out of that, I empathize very heavily with guys that are in those dark places.
They both know how much these meetings can make a positive impact.
I also know as a man that it's really hard to feel comfortable talking to other people.
Yeah, and mental health's an ongoing thing, right? So even as much as we go through the process of discussing what's going on with us and trying to overcome those things, it takes time.
Into